we are meeting with a number of investors, even EBRD, Asian Bank of Development, always coming. We are discussing much projects, and we are okay with the tax environment and the others. Now, too much reforms in Uzbekistan already give us a good opportunity to rise a good company. It depends on the good management team, and it depends from the professional guys of the company, you know. So in our company we are concentrated on good stuff and on professional guys. So in our company, 40% of staff from abroad, from United States, from Europe, from many countries, from India, you know. So
40%
40%
expats.
40%.
How many people employed altogether?
Up to 5,000 people, taking in consideration our 12 offices in all over the world.
Well, thank you so much. The last question I'm asking everybody else: are you going to consider reaching out to public markets, raising funding? And I saw today you signed a letter of intent with Oppenheimer. So,
yes, we are a young company, and from the first day of our establishment, we were trying to do that, and we, with a burning ambition, and step by step coming to this day. And I hope if we'll keep work hard, I think we'll achieve that memorandum which we signed today.
I hope the markets will be also in your favor. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, and I'm going to turn to my colleague from Citibank, and I think deliberately wanted for you to be our last speaker, because there's, in my view, very few organizations like Citigroup who have global experience and have also been in Uzbekistan long enough, providing financial services, providing custody services, and really being a friend of Uzbekistan. Obviously, you're welcome to introduce Citi and your activities, and I'm going to ask one question before that. Mr. Carter, how do American financial institutions foresee increasing interest rates at home, factoring into investor appetite in Uzbekistan? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Nazarov. I'm delighted to be here, to be honest, with Your Excellency and the Chamber of Commerce. I'm really impressed with the quality of the discussions and how Uzbekistan is connected to the investors, to the investment environment here. Look, I'm very conscious that I may be the only person standing between the lunch and today, so I'll try to be very brief.
No, but you're lucky. There is one more, but it's not one of this, so you're fine.
So I understand the anxiousness about the raising rate environment, but let me just remind ourselves that in the modern history of the monetary policy and being the institutions in place since 1945 till today, the average US dollar interest rate has been 8.5%, and the average inflation is somewhere around 5 to 5.5%. So there was life before, and but we've been used to this low rate environment, and it just took I think longer than usual cycle between the global financial crisis in 2008, and even you can easily put the COVID and all sorts of the interventionist monetary policies since then. But again, I think there's a new reality in our life, and under normal circumstances, and all other things being equal, I think the textbook says when the interest rates are increasing, in particularly in reserve currencies, in our case, I think let's extrapolate on dollars, funds usually available to the emerging markets tend to be shrink, and the investors tend to go back to the developed markets when the perceived risk-free rate is reaches to a certain level. I think we're very close to that sort of making the peak. Having said that, I think there is no one-size-fits-all type of an approach here. And when it comes to the all emerging markets, usually higher debt to GDP countries are tended to be impacted, I think, more than the others. And also countries offering higher returns to the investors tend to attract, more allocation. And when I say higher return, I don't mean really that some companies offering 4% and let's say Uzbekistan is offering 8%. It's not the case. I think investors usually don't buy the past and they don't even buy the now. I think the investors buy the future. They buy the development, they buy the growth, they buy the improvement. So when you look into the two spectrum of the things, I think Uzbekistan has a very special place, relatively low debt to GDP, and I think have already been shown resilience, and I think last 5 years authorities have helped basically insulate the economy by undertaking proactive rate increases, improving financial discipline and external balances. So I think it's really that I put in Uzbekistan into the map, and when you differentiate yourselves into the rest of the emerging markets and this buying feature spectrum, I think this is where the things are going to be happening.
Thank you so much. And one last question. If you have to highlight particular economic sectors in Uzbekistan that Citibank see the greatest investment potential, would you identify for investors' attention?
Yeah, sure. Look, we have a very active investment banking, and we are the preeminent banking provider for when it comes to particularly for cross-border needs of the corporations, cross-border needs of the financial institutions and governments. I think for us, when we look into the Uzbekistan, I think the metals and mining sector looks very attractive and already made, I think, strong case to the world markets. And when I mean basically, I think this the gold and copper, and I think particularly the demand for copper and the back of what's happening in the green economy and the transformation and the transition into the electric vehicles, and I think it really puts the particular metals into when it comes to the 5 to 10 year of a spectrum of investment. It looks very attractive. I think again, I think the liberalization of the energy crisis and the country taking steps into the I think it looks very attractive to the foreign investors to take a better part of to invest into the country, and also helps to comply with the how the government wants to consolidate fiscal and discipline into the economies. Apart from metals and mining, I think when we look into particularly the region, and when I look to the future, I mean the region, I can easily put the CIS, Russia, Turkey, and parts of the Middle East into that. The consumer markets that Uzbekistan is a very sizable market compared to any of your neighbors. I think when it comes to retail food, beverages, and but more so the fintech and e-commerce, anything goes with the financial inclusion of the unbanked population. Yeah, I think gentleman George made a very good examples from Pakistan. I think I can easily see that I have previous experience in dealing with the e-wallets and online banking features that the financial investment spectrum for Uzbekistan as well.
Well, glad to hear that you're confirming that, and I'm going to wish you best of luck in doing business in Uzbekistan, and we hope to get support. On this note, I'm going to thank every panelist for participating and sharing your thoughts. Great conversation, great discussion, and good luck to all of you in doing business in Uzbekistan and attracting investments. Carolyn, if you permit, I'd like to turn back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all, both wonderful MCs, to our wonderful panelists, and to a very patient audience for paying attention all this while. Great job. I think we have one more exchange, Mr. Minister, very quickly, between the Ministry of Investment, Industry and Trade and Rubicon Water and Inversion Technologies. So just a quick exchange right here would be great. We applaud all of the investment that we've seen today. Thank you very much. Thank you and congratulations. It's great. Now, in addition to being released for lunch, we'll be next door in the Crystal Ballroom, I think you know. And remember, you have one-on-one meetings this afternoon, and then of course we have the dinner this evening by invitation. So we look forward to seeing all of you. We have a wonderful speaker at lunch who is here waiting to address you. See you right away.
Yes, thank you so much. So lunch